So I want to speak out about what's going on at the moment in the government's education policies and approach in this pandemic, in these lockdown times. Um, I am just staring in disbelief at the level of bullying, dangerous, ignorant approach that they're taking, which is putting enormous pressure on schools, on parents, and on children. And the pressure all ends up on the children in the end. There's this story that the most dangerous thing that's going to happen in this pandemic is that children get behind on their education. There is so much research available about what it is that supports children's mental health and well-being, what helps children learn, and what protects children from trauma, and they are doing almost the opposite of all of that. They are threatening schools around attendance and achievement with their Ofsted report line. If you're not happy with what your child's school is offering, children's teachers have been under so much stress for so many months now, trying to keep up with changing and demanding and ignorant government policies. This is a global pandemic. This is lockdown. The levels of isolation, of inequality, of pressure that are on people. Why isn't the government offering financial support to parents so they don't have to work and parent and educate their child at the same time? Why have we got households where children don't have enough to eat and whose parents are trying to hold things together and supervise their education without the screens or devices available? Our curriculum, the national curriculum, was designed to be taught in schools by a real person who's had training on how to do that, not by single children sitting at home looking at a screen and trying to work out themselves. There's also so much research into online learning, and nobody would do it like that. Nobody would do it like that who knows anything about. Nobody would ask a child to sit in front of a screen for 2 hours at a time, let alone the whole school day. And the thing that I'm most concerned about is that I think that we're watching a whole generation of children become traumatised, not by the scale of lockdown and pandemic, which is bad enough, but by the response to that, that we're not putting children's needs first and recognising that what they need for their mental health and well-being is good physical care and support, emotional support and understanding from their parents and from people around them. Why isn't the government money going into that, to providing parents with helplines? The support that is already there is massively overstretched and underfunded after years, of course, of being gradually shut down. And now we're in this complete mess of, I work with parents, and all the time I see parents who are, otherwise often quite well resourced, feeling huge pressure and and getting so stressed because they are trying to push their children to keep up, because because that's what the school's asking for, and the school asking for that because they don't know what else to do, and the government's pressurising them. And I know, of course, there are patches where schools are standing up to this government pressure and they're really protecting their students, but there are many who don't, because none of us have been in this situation before. So I just want to say, we need to be, all of us, turning around and saying, no, no, don't do this to our children. Because the risk is that, already levels of anxiety and mental illness are climbing and climbing, even before this pandemic and all the lockdowns that have happened. And now within this, we're seeing it. It's really clear that mental illness is going up. So to suggest that the biggest threat to a child at the moment is that their education is interrupted is absolutely dangerous and a complete lie. The biggest threat to children is that their parents are being turned into teachers and putting pressure on them the whole time, so that what's happening in families which is a child's only place to be, and the place where they need to feel safe, is that it's a constant battle to try and navigate all the expectations on them. So if this touches you at all and you're in any position of influence, if you're a parent or a teacher, please say no to this pressure that's going on with our children, and support the loving, safe connections, their physical health, their mental health that comes from feeling safe and connected with parents who love them and have the capacity to be with them. As for their education, they can do this. They're going to be learning. The curriculum isn't the only way to learn. It's a chance to do something different, and they may have ideas themselves about what they would like to spend their time doing. Thank you for listening to this, and if it supports you in finding any confidence to say no, you are the only one that's going to be able, if you're a parent, you're the only one that's going to be really able to stand up for your child. Please stand up for your child. And if you're a teacher, please support parents in doing that. Whatever the government's saying, they've got no idea what they're doing. I'd like to think there's an excuse for it, but all the research on children's mental health and trauma is all there. They could be looking at it, and they could be recruiting people to help them with this, and they're not. We need to stand up about this together. Thank you.